Hi, my name is Erez, and I'm going to talk to you today about a paper that we just put out a couple of weeks ago that explores the role of social norms in promoting behaviors that help to slow the spread of COVID-19 at the onset of the pandemic back in March and April of 2020. The paper was written by a very large team led by Jan Yemichovich. At the onset of the pandemic, the team wrote a survey and launched it on social media and with the help of media platforms, and was able to get it to go viral. Ultimately, it garnered about 110,000 participants across 175 countries. And that data is publicly available at the link that you see over there. The question that we're going to explore is the extent to which people were motivated to engage in behaviors like social distancing and closing businesses and washing their hands more as a result of social norms. Now, it's obviously not a big surprise to most people in this audience that social norms might play a role here. After all, there's a very large literature suggesting that they help to motivate pro-social behaviors in a variety of contexts. But this was the very beginning of the pandemic, and it is a question as to whether they can arise in time to help out with something that's moving so fast. On the other hand, governments were also not moving especially quickly. And so if we stood a chance of doing anything, then maybe social norms were our best bet. The way we explored this was by taking a look at two measures of normative beliefs, first order injunctive beliefs and second order injunctive beliefs. What do you think? Should people in your country, say, cancel their participation at social gatherings? Or how many of 100 people in your country do you believe think that this is what should be done? And so we took a look at this for a variety of different behaviors. And the first question we asked is, do people actually hold these normative beliefs? The answer is very much yes. These are the numbers on average in our data for 4 different abatement behaviors: stopping social gatherings, not shaking hands, closing stores, and introducing a curfew. And what you see is that first order injunctive beliefs are very high in our sample. They're a bit lower when we look at second order injunctive beliefs, but still quite high. We can look at these data across countries, and what we find is that in most countries we look at, injunctive beliefs are very high, both first order and second order. Again, first order being higher. But if you look at, say, first order beliefs, most countries, more than 70% of people are telling us that they believe that people should engage in these behaviors already a few weeks into the pandemic. And so people do seem to have adopted those normative beliefs very early on. We also find that those two measures are very highly correlated, which one would expect maybe in general, but also if one thinks that social norms are playing a role here, because one would expect second order beliefs, what one thinks others think, to be shaping first order beliefs, what one thinks oneself. Next thing we do is take a look at the relationship between these beliefs and behaviors. We have a variety of self-reports of behavior. To what extent do the following statements describe your behavior in the past week? I stayed home, I did not attend social gatherings, kept a social distance, etc. And we take these and we both look at them independently and also as an index. Like others, we find that people self-report having engaged in these behaviors at very high rates. And that's true again when we look across countries. That in most countries that was true. When it comes to looking at that and the relationship with normative beliefs, what we find is that first order and second order injunctive beliefs are very strongly correlated with self-reports of adherence. That's true even when we control for other things that we surveyed people about. It's true even when we include risk measures, the degree to which people are at risk from COVID. In fact, the correlations are the strongest that we find amongst all the things that we surveyed people for. And that's even true when we include both first order and second order beliefs in the regression. I think for me, perhaps the most interesting result in the paper is the fact that second order beliefs, even holding constant people's first order beliefs, are highly predictive of adhering to containment measures. To me, that's very good evidence that social norms are playing an important role. There's a ton more in the paper. There is an exploration of people's satisfaction with the government and others' response and the relationship between that and social norms. There's an exploration of the effect of lockdowns. There's also an exploration of how people's mental health responded to the pandemic and to lockdowns, because our team was very strong on that particular dimension as well. If you're interested in any of these things, I really recommend you take a look at the draft, and we're also very much looking forward to what you guys are able to do with the data. Thank you very much.